Hey, what's up, everybody? Let's recap yesterday, shall we? Not too bad of a day. 4-2-1 total day yesterday. Our one push being a Seth Curry push. So weird, that Seth Curry situation. I don't know if he twisted his ankle in warm up or something, but he was all good. All good to go until 15 minutes before game time, before tip off. And I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. And then 5 minutes later, Patty Mills was starting, and then he was active. And then during the game, he got declared out. Weirdest thing I've ever seen, honestly, in quite a while. I was like, what? So that sucks. That kind of basically blew up our 3-slip, because at that point, it's just a 2-slip, and it's pointless at that point, really. Our lock of the day, though, Cade Cunningham comes through, 23 points from him yesterday. I was right about a New Orleans Pelicans player eating yesterday, but it was Jonas Valanciunas. Ended up taking all the shots, as well as Jackson Hayes. So Devontae Graham goes into the half with 10 points and doesn't score again for the rest of the game, because they also blew out the Rockets, so that sucks. But I took Jonas Valanciunas in the 5-slip yesterday, but I took his rebounds, and he dominated his points, and he dominated his points and rebounds. So I didn't take my own advice there and didn't take points and rebounds. I took just rebounds, and I missed because of that, so that sucks. Steven Adams had a monster rebounding that game, though. He had 8 rebounds in the first quarter. He almost crushed it in the first quarter. LeBron James and Mikal Bridges also hit on their points as well, giving us a 4-2-1 total day yesterday. Just a little bit off on just a couple picks. Again, if I would have got that Jonas and Steven Adams plays earlier in the day, I definitely would have thrown those in the video, but that's why I hate Sundays, honestly. But back to normal format today. Let's get it today. All right, baby, coming in hot with our lock of the day, and it's a sleeper once again. Give me a Charlotte Hornet versus OKC. Give me Mason Plumlee, baby. Let's get it. Mason Plumlee. All right, take this for example. Yesterday, Steven Adams put up a 9 points and 16 rebounds yesterday. Mason Plumlee's current line is set at 14.5 points and rebounds. As you can see, Steven Adams dominated that line yesterday. Who's very similar to Steven Adams? Mason Plumlee. Steven Adams plays 26 minutes per game. They both don't play that much minutes. Mason Plumlee averages 25 minutes per game. Mason Plumlee has the ability to absolutely dominate the glass at times. The Thunder are still without any centers. They're playing out there with a bunch of forwards and a bunch of guards. And so I anticipate Mason Plumlee to easily crush this line in games where he's gotten up against guys that can't really rebound the ball that well. Looking at his recent history, I mean, even the Celtics, who are a pretty good rebounding team with Horford, Tatum, and Robert Williams, he had 15 and 7. The Spurs, we talked about that. They give up kind of a lot of rebounds at times. He crushed his line there. Even against the Raptors, who's a very good rebounding team, crushed his line there. 14 and 17 versus Timberwolves. Obviously, Mason Plumlee has times where he doesn't do that much. Against the Nets a couple days ago, on March 8th, he only had 5 rebounds, 2 points, right? I feel like this is a game where he's going to gobble up the glass early. Like I said, yesterday, Steven Adams had 16 total rebounds, but had 8 rebounds in the first quarter. I feel like Mason Plumlee is the easy steal and lock of the day, over 14.5 points and rebounds for Mason Plumlee. Next up, give me Karl Anthony Towns. I nearly made Karl Anthony Towns my lock of the day today, over 23.5 points. The Spurs have kind of struggled to hold down elite big men. And Towns is probably, in my opinion, a top 5 big man, maybe 3 or 4 floating around that range. Bam Adebayo had 36 points on them. Nikola Vucevic had 25 points. Joel Embiid, then their 2 matchups with Joel Embiid, he had 38, 31. And in their last matchup between the Spurs and the Timberwolves, all the way back November 18th. Very different team back then, but he had 25 points. I anticipate the game to be way closer. That game was also a blowout, so I anticipate that one to be this game today to be much closer. It's sitting around a 240 total, so there should be a lot of buckets, a lot of shots taken, a lot of rebounds. It should be a very fast-paced game, and I anticipate Karl Anthony Towns to easily get over 23.5 points today. All right, next up, this one gets a little bit complicated. The Clippers are sitting a lot of guys today. They're resting a lot of guys, which we need to talk about as well. The NBA is getting closer to the end of the regular season. Teams are clinching playoffs. Players are going to start resting. So this end of the season here is going to get a little bit complicated with people because players are just simply going to be resting for the playoffs. So things will get a little bit interesting towards the end of the season here. So it'll be interesting to see what we end up doing with lines and stuff like that. But give me Darius Garland's points versus the Clippers. They set it at 25, and he's been absolutely crushing that line week in and week out. The Clippers we took Cade Cunningham yesterday versus the Clippers. He had 23. He should have had more, but they just lost that lead. They blew that lead, and he ended up not getting much buckets towards the end. But if Cade Cunningham was able to drop 23 on them just last night, and they'll be without Reggie Jackson, they'll be without a couple different guys today with all this rest that they're doing, I anticipate Garland to get that 25-point mark today. I even thought about Evan Mobley. Wouldn't be a bad idea, but like I said, with Kevin Love taking all those rebounds from him without Lowry Markkinen on the floor, didn't love that. But I'll take Darius Garland over that 24.5 points today versus the Clippers as long as this game can stay a little bit close, which it will most likely, because what do the Clippers like to do? Keep all their games close. No matter who's on the floor, they're going to be competitive. That team's 15 men deep, honestly, when you think about it. So Darius Garland over 24.5 points. I like that one. Also, if you guys are new to Underdog, because like I say in every video, all my picks are strictly from Underdog, because I know a lot of guys out there do prize picks, they do whatever. I do all mine just from Underdog. I think it's the best way to go as far as player prop betting. I like to do player prop betting really only. The only kind of sports betting I like to do is just more fun in my eyes. But if you guys are new to Underdog and you've never heard of it before and you want to give it a try, I do have a link down in the description. If you click on that link, it takes you right to the App Store. Then you can just download it there from the App Store, and it'll also automatically put in my TAKEMYSHOT code. If you do that, you get a match on your deposit up to about up to $100. So if you put in $50, you'll get a $50 back for free. They match your deposit on that first deposit. Like I said, I think it's the best player prop betting app. If you use that link in the description, it helps me out a lot, big time. Getting ever so closer to doing this almost full time, getting so close. All right, next up we got a pretty juicy one between the Kings and the Chicago Bulls. Now, DeMar DeRozan, his line is set at 30.5. Let me just double check that real quick. DeMar DeRozan's line is set at 30.5. He hasn't been on as crazy of a stretch as he was obviously a little bit earlier this year. Obviously, can't do that all the time. That's why it's a crazy stretch. In their last matchup, which was just back on February 16th, DeMar did have 38 points. Okay, they were without Zach LaVine. I understand that part too, because you gotta look at everything here. So they were without Zach LaVine in that matchup. Kobe White in that game did have 31 points. So obviously that's kind of what LaVine would do if LaVine was playing. So even with Kobe White filling the void there for Zach LaVine dropping that much points, they still had, or DeRozan still managed to get 38 points. Same thing goes for De'Aaron Fox. Now I know they didn't have Caruso back then, but even with Caruso in the lineup just this last game, Garland still managed to drop 25. Fox in their last matchup, De'Aaron Fox had 33, okay? Obviously, the Bulls still give up a lot on the perimeter, even though I know Caruso's an elite defender and he's back. So this game is at a 236 over-under, only just a 3-point spread. Sacramento is the Bulls are just barely the favorites in this one. I anticipate this one to be a high-scoring, close game, so I like both De'Aaron Fox over on his points, which is set at 26, I believe, 25.5. Let me just give that a quick double check. 25.5 points for De'Aaron Fox, as well as 31 points, 30.5 for DeMar DeRozan. I like both those lines in this one. This one should be a competitive, fun one. High energy, fast pace, only a 3-point spread. Should be a good one in this one. And one under I'm going to throw at you guys is going to be Aaron Gordon versus Philadelphia. Now, Philadelphia is kind of up in the air because there's been rumors around that, they're going to start resting their players a little bit now that they're, coming down the stretch of the season here. I'm going to go under on Aaron Gordon's 14.5 points for this reason and this reason alone. Going to be matched up primarily with Matisse Thybulle or Tobias Harris at times. What does Aaron Gordon get his gravy with inside in the paint? What do the 76ers defend really well? The paint with Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, and those guys down low. So I anticipate Aaron Gordon to not be able to really get that many buckets, especially when it comes towards the rim. If he takes his shots and he starts hitting threes, I'll take that if he hits some three-pointers, and that's the reason why we don't hit on this. But I have a feeling it's going to be hard for him to score inside with all that, with Embiid protecting the paint, as well as Tobias Harris and Matisse Thybulle at times. So I anticipate Aaron Gordon to not be able to hit that 14.5 points today versus Philadelphia. All right, boys, time for the perfect three slip. Just barely coming up short the last couple of days on the perfect three slip. All right, obviously we have our lock of the day, Mason Plumlee over 14.5 rebounds and points. Give me DeMar DeRozan's points and De'Aaron Fox's points. Going with some guys that have been super consistent on the channel as well. I have all the faith in the world that DeMar DeRozan, De'Aaron Fox can hit these lines, as well as that being a super competitive game to watch, super fun game, late game, and as well as Mason Plumlee to eat the glass against the Thunder, who really lack anything inside. Like I said, they're playing a bunch of fours. They don't have any centers, so I like Mason Plumlee as our lock of the day, as well as DeMar DeRozan and De'Aaron Fox as part of our perfect three slip today. And, of course, our perfect five slip. Our perfect five slip will be our three slip of Plumlee, DeRozan, and Fox. Give me Karl Anthony Towns' points as well as Darius Garland's points, okay? I'm going to throw it into the ring that Evan Mobley wouldn't be a bad idea. I know he sold for us just the other day. Kevin Love, I know he kind of steals the rebounds, but there's no one really on the Clippers roster that can match up with Evan Mobley, so his points probably would be the best way to go, honestly. But I like Darius Garland as well as Karl Anthony Towns to add to our perfect five slip, so it would be Darius Garland, 24.5 points. Mason Plumlee, 14.5 rebounds and points. Karl Anthony Towns over 23.5 points. DeMar DeRozan 30.5 points. And De'Aaron Fox 25.5 points. Alright guys, it's going to wrap up today's video. Super excited about today. I feel like this one's going to be a really good slate of games, really good slate of picks here. Also guys, we are ever so close to 2,000 subscribers. We are literally right on the nose there. So if we could go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I know I don't really ask for that all that often, but we're getting really close to 2,000. So I'd love to hit that within a couple of days here. Well, that being said, guys, that'll wrap up today's video. So I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.